Hi, it is me, Eddie, and this is another episode of Eddi the Ficritic. Here we go. Got it. One day we'll have a title. Don't know when. Not really sure on that, but one day. One day. Maybe. So yeah, should probably put something more conservative on. I'll be right back. When in doubt, go for the big black hoodie. So you guys don't have to see my boobies anymore. I mean, not that they're not lovely boobs. I mean, they're fucking fantastic boobs, but, not everybody wants to see them. Not all these women are as gay as I am, but, that's neither here nor there. It is time to get back into the groove of things and start reviewing videos again. Our first story was on LiveJournal. It is called The Dovekeeper by xunderzenithx, who isn't on FicWad, I don't think, but it was suggested by XxLaylaXx. And I basically read chapter 1 because I was under, constraint of time here. And, basically you got Frank describing him and his friends. Gerard, who ends up dumping a can of paint all over Frank's head because Frank's friend kept calling Gerard a fag. Not very nice, Frank's friend. Bad. Not really a lot happens in the first chapter. It's mostly descriptions, which is basically the opposite of what I write, and it's not my thing, but as far as I read, which was the first chapter, it was alright. I give it a 7.2 out of 10, just because it was decently written, and because. Suggested by xblckhrtxx was Browser 18. Yeah, Once Upon a Crime. Basically, Gerard and Mike's dad was in the Mafia, as is Frank's dad, and an OC named Anna, who's sweet on Gerard. Her family is in the Mafia, I think. They're very Italian-American from the 1920s-ish. Love the dialect, though. Love it. Like the dialect keeps with the times. It makes me happy. I love dialectically correct to the time period. I hate history, but I like it when it's dialectically correct. It makes me smile inside and outside, as you can see. 8 out of 10. I think it was the best rated of however many fucking weeks it's been. Suggested by KristenBitch is ShadowSouls, with an apostrophe. Saturday Night. The tense at the beginning is mixed up. One part it's like present tense and the next is past and back and forth. Probably just in the very beginning though, I don't know. Basically the plot, you have Gerard is a serial killer. How? Not much new there. And Frank has a crush on him. Again, not much new there. But Gerard decides to take advantage of Frank's crush. I suppose that's, because we like to paint Gerard as a nice guy. Like, oh, he's nice. Gerard is nice. And here it's kind of like, Gerard is bad. Frank is nice. Frank is so innocent. That was my imitation of painting. The only thing that bothered me was that the, oh my god, I have a crush thing that Frank does towards, the very beginning of it. It's kind of rushed. Like, you just dived into there, head first, without, just giving it a little period of, little breathing room. But, I think you're doing great with it. Quite enjoy it. I gave it a 7.1 out of 10, bitch. Yeah. Thank you to KristenBitch for suggesting that story. So then we have, which is just by MCR_vampire_321, is photograph by Disenchantedxo. And first negative review of the night. Oh no, everybody hide. There's nothing wrong with it grammatically or spelling wise. It's just, I'll tell you the plot line, and then you can see why I kind of had an issue with this story. Basically, abused female abusive husband or boyfriend or whatever the fuck he is, wails on her like fuck. He's the stereotypical, abuser. And, flashback to, in her past, this girl, Charlotte, I think, her first boyfriend, her first kiss, was, oh, Gerard Way. Yes, because we all loved Gerard. And he was always our first kiss.
he was the sweet boy, and then he and Mikey moved away, and I never saw them again. And then, years later, after a beating from her husband, Charlotte goes to a My Chemical Romance show that her best friend conveniently won backstage passes to. And she finds, oh my god, it's Frerard Way and Mikey Way. What have they done with their lives? They become rock stars. And I didn't notice, even though they're famous. And then, not to spoil anything for you, and then it's like, oh, your boyfriend, your husband, you don't like him? Oh, he's bad to you? Well, let's go on tour with us, bring your friend too, just come along. And then there's the whole dramatic of Charlotte, but Gerard, I can't be disloyal as my husband, I can't kiss you.
Then it's Gerard being, fine, bitch, I hate you. I hate you so much, I'm gonna make out with this big titty blonde bimbo just to make you jealous. Yeah. And can you see why I wasn't a huge fan? It's about as cliche as they come. I'm kinda hurt by it. I overused the words well written, Jesus Christ. It's well written. There's nothing really wrong with it, it's just cliche, if you will. No, not if you will, it's fucking cliche. I'm sorry, Disenchantedxo, but it's cliche. You probably have a bunch of fans that love the story, but I do not care for it. If you want to check it out, though, I put a link in the description, because I always put a link in the description, because I'm not that big of an asshole, that I like my personal suggestions and critiques conflict with what people really want to read. So, that's done with. Next we have a story I particularly care for, that I read when it was first posted, is Frerard A-Z by MyPatheticRomance. It's a great story, It's 26 fluffy Frerard one-shots that take place at random points in time. Like 1 minute they're like in diapers, and the next minute they're like 40-something, and then they're teenagers, and they're in diapers again, and then they're dogs and cats. Not really. That's a different story altogether. But whatever. The only thing that my suggestion to you is some technical stuff. The dialogue tags, like he said, she said, all those things that you put after quotation marks. You always put them after quotation marks. It's never like, Frank said, comma, quotation marks, blah 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 blah. It's always like, blah 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 blah, end quotation marks, comma, end quotation marks, Frank announced, or Bob said, or he finished, or he laughed, or she said, or it's just a bit, it drags after a while, and it's just kind of, it's stalling your story, and when it could move a lot more fluidly. And if you ever go back and decide to edit this and rewrite it, that would be my only suggestion to you. So consider experimenting with the ways you put your quotations and the ways you embed your quotations. Yeah. So there you go. 7.4 out of 10. The next, suggested by VengefulScout, we have You Only Live Forever in the Lights You Make by XxLaylaXx. And technical stuff, okay, we'll give you the plot. The plot is, a group of teenage killjoys are going to do something, and they have missions and stuff, and there's all this personal interactions between them. I feel like there's too many of them in a scene at a time. I mean, there's just there's so many people around. I think there's like 6 in the main group, and then there's another 4 in a different group or something. But there's too many people at one time, and it makes it really difficult for it to sound really realistic, because there's a lot. You're trying too much to get everyone into the thing, which you're supposed to want to get everyone into the thing, but you just. What you really need to do here is to probably eliminate some characters. I mean, I know you had people audition and you wanted to include everyone from the audition, but it would be really key to eliminate all the characters that you don't need, even though you've already written the story and it's over. If you ever go back to rewrite it, I'm just saying, but But yeah, I read about 7 chapters for the sake of time, because I read all of this shit today and within a few hours, and I didn't feel like, you know, going through the entirety of every fucking story. Not that some of the stories weren't good, some of them I'm just lazy and I don't feel like reading too much today. Yeah. So, I like how you incorporate the history from each character into a different chapter, but you need to find a way to make it more natural, if you ever rewrite it, that is. Not a great score on this, the 5.8 out of 10, just because of, like, minor technical things, and you had, quite a few author's notes just randomly in there that had nothing to do with the story, and that's a pet peeve of mine. I just don't really like it when there's too many author's notes. Just random shit. Anyway, Alex, good job. And if you ever decide to rewrite it, just take into mind what I have told you here, and you'll do great. Next we have Desert Song by VengefulScout, and let me just say that today is a very day for me. I'm not very depressed, I'm not very, like, serious, I'm in a very, like, mood, very, like, out there. So, if this review hurts your feelings, just know that I didn't take it seriously, and maybe at a later date I will take it seriously. But, here we go. Desert Song. First of all, it is raining in the desert. You can see where I have a slight problem in this. It is a desert because it is barren, and there is no rain. And it's raining. I mean, it adds to the romantic elements of it, but it's raining in the desert, and I was really annoyed about that. Second, the story is very melodramatic, I guess. It's all very, save yourself and I'll hold them back tonight. Kind of like that. Yeah. I'm just in a sadistic mood, I guess. But I laughed at the end when the thing that happened at the end happened. Okay, Frank dies. I'm sorry. Spoiler! Frank dies. Fungul / Frank dies. I'm sorry. It just felt cheesy. It was just too cliche for me. It was very, like, oh no, he's dying! I'll always be with you in here. Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan. I know it was supposed to be heartbreaking and sappy and sad and romantic and depressing, but it was just, like, so dramatic. Yeah. Anyways, 6 out of 10. And then, you're probably gonna think I'm the world's biggest cunt today because I just keep with this negative reviewing. Drowning Lessons by AlbinoBlackSheep, which was suggested by allwasgoldeninthesky. I really can't take these death fics seriously today. Maybe I should redo my reviews, like, when I'm in a more, like, depressed mood, and when I'm taking things much more seriously, but, no. So basically, MCR is on a cruise, and the captain comes over the speaker, like, in the very fucking beginning of the fic, and it's like, okay, the ship's going down, we're all gonna die, this is your captain speaking, blah, blah, blah. And then Ray freaks out, he's like, oh my god, Chris is pregnant, what am I gonna do, And then everyone's just like, no dude, just relax. Just be thankful for the time you spent with her, and it doesn't matter that the kid will never know you. Just know that everything is gonna be alright. Every little thing is gonna be alright. And then they start talking about their happiest moments. It's like, oh, I was happiest when I married my wife. Oh, I was happiest when I met my wife. Oh, I was happiest when I held my baby. And then it turns into a Frerard, and at the end, after everyone's died but Gerard and Frank's like, Gerard, I love you, before a giant wave comes over and kills them, and then first they make out, and then the wave comes over and kills them. Seriously, I'm just can't take it seriously. My sister read it, though, and she was pretty moved, and that I just cackled at the end, because I'm a cynical fuck. Sadistic, cynical fuck. 7 out of 10, because in all seriousness, it really was a lot more real out of the stories. But the thing that bothered me most was that the guys were, other than Ray at the very beginning, were all surprisingly cool with, oh, we're gonna die.
My happiest memory was this. Oh, mine was this. Oh, Gerard, I love you. I love you too, Frankie. Even though I have a wife and a child. Well, they're never gonna see me again, so I just gotta confess my love to you. Mwah. Making out. No. And then we got MyChemicalBotchbot's Fuck the Title, I Can't Think of One, which is actually the title. It's not that she couldn't think of a title. That is the title of the story. This story I quite liked, actually. The paragraphs are short and it's kind of choppy, but it kind of doesn't really necessarily flow too well, but I actually like the story, probably because it's like one of those like ooh, observation. Why does he do this? Why is he like that? This person, he's so popular, Gerard. He's so popular, and yet he's hiding something. He becomes my foster brother. That is Frank speaking. Because my foster brother, and I observe him. Because when he's at school, he's preppy, with so popular, and he hangs with all the cheerleaders and fucks them all. But at home, he wears Iron Maiden shirts and listens to Slayer. I don't know why I like it. But I'm just weird like that. Yeah. This was an extremely shitty, so this was an extremely shitty, review video, and it's probably too long, and I'm gonna cut shit out of it. But, this has caught me up with all the stories that I haven't reviewed, and now I've reviewed them, most of them not very seriously, and I apologize, but I'm just not in a serious mood today. Maybe when I'm more serious, I can re-review them, and analyze them, and do that thing that I do, and then touch my nose a lot, and then rub my eyes, and my nose, and all that shit. And signing off, this is XX_Eddi_XX. Yeah! Good night.